Mr. Forbes is recognized for his questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, thank you for being here today. And I think despite all the rhetoric, we know that this committee is not asking you to break the law regarding what you say or information you provide to Congress. It's just, as you know, it doesn't matter if you appear in Congress 7 times or 70 times if when you're asked you say, I don't know, to the questions that are most pertinent, or it doesn't matter if you supply 7,000 pages or documents or 700,000 pages if they're not the proper papers to answer key questions. So I want to begin where you began, and that was the standard that you said that you have in the department, which is that every action is guided by law and facts and nothing else. I think I stated that correctly. Is that fair?
Well, certainly when we're at our best, that's what happens.
We know that every cabinet secretary doesn't adhere to that standard. In fact, we have in a paper today the fact that several cabinet members were required to come to a meeting at the Democratic National Committee headquarters where the campaign manager, the top strategist for the campaign, the executive director of the Democratic National Committee was there telling them the actions that they should take, and 4 items: to help the president win re-election, regarding the campaign structure, the importance of the Electoral College, and the importance of staying on message. The question I want to ask you this morning is, I know that you're familiar with David Axelrod, who's the Obama's top campaign strategy, and to the best of your knowledge, has Mr. Axelrod or anybody on his behalf or anybody on behalf of the campaign had any discussions with you or members of the Justice Department regarding actions that you should or should not take, messaging that you should or should not make, or hiring decisions that you should or should not support?
No, absolutely not. I mean, one of the things that I like a great deal about my interaction with people in the White House is that, and I think they take their lead from the president, is that they have respected what I'd call a wall that has to exist between the Justice Department and the political operation that goes on in the White House. I've not had any of that kind of interaction.
So there have been some publications out, and of course we never know whether these publications are accurate or not, but at least in one book that claims that you and Mr. Axelrod had some type of confrontation when he was trying to get you to hire someone, and you're saying that's not accurate at all. You've never had any kind of meetings with him regarding any hiring decisions at the Department of Justice.
No, we talked about not a hiring decision. We talked about ways in which we might improve the ability of the Justice Department to respond to political attacks that were coming my way. Now, David Axelrod and I are good friends. He's a close friend of mine. We have a great relationship. He's a person I respect a great deal. We worked together on the campaign while he was at the White House, but he's never done anything that I would consider inappropriate.
But then what you're saying is you have had contact with Mr. Axelrod, campaign strategists, about how you should handle different attacks coming to you as Attorney General, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's a political dimension to the job that I have as Attorney General. I mean, the reality is that I don't sit up in an ivory tower and just do law enforcement. I am the subject of attacks. I'm a person who was seen by some as pretty controversial, and there are times, or at least there was that time, when I was looking for some help in that regard.
So you have had those discussions. Did he ever try to encourage you to hire or put any particular person at the Department of Justice?
No.
With Fast and Furious, there have been a lot of discussions about it, and we know that's a big item, not just for us, but the ambassador to Mexico has said that operation, which took place under your watch, has poisoned the Mexican people and really put a strain on strides we've made in 2 successive administrations in the United States. He's been concerned that the investigation hasn't been completed. Have you ever had any consultation with the White House or anyone with the campaign or with Mr. Axelrod about messaging related to Fast and Furious?
About messaging with regard to Fast and Furious?
Yes, comments that were made, how you were going to message it, any of that.
Well, we have certainly talked about the way in which we could deal with the interaction between the Justice Department and Congress about ways in which we would...
But nothing about press messaging at all?
Well, I mean, in terms of trying to get a message out that was consistent with the facts and make sure that it was done in an appropriate way. I've had conversations like that with people in the White House counsel's office.
Just two other quick questions. I know that you filed actions against Arizona, South Carolina, Utah, and Alabama, all Republican governors. My time is out. Would you give us a list of any similar actions of the similar profile you filed against any Democratic states with Democratic governors? And also the final thing is, if you'll let us know if you had any relationship or meetings with the White House and members of the campaign about any of the messaging or any of these actions that took place on that. And, Mr. Chairman, my time has expired. And
thank you, Mr. Forbes.
One thing, with regard to the question of the governors, I'm not sure that there has been a photo ID attempt made by a state run by a Democratic governor.
No, I wasn't asking about photo IDs. I think if you look at these states, they were regarding, I think, immigration policies. But any action that you've taken against a Democratic governor of a similar high profile with an investigation.
Well, I'd say with regard to the immigration laws, as I understand, and I have to check, but I don't think that there has been a similar immigration attempt made by states run by Democratic governors, which would be the reason why we've not opposed them. But I'll check and we'll share that information with you.
And also, Mr. Attorney General, when you check, if you'd make sure you let us know the contacts you had with Mr. Axelrod regarding any messaging or anything that might come regarding those actions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Forbes.